Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we continue our database topic. So this is what we are doing here. This is the main activity. We have added up a few more things in it. Okay, like ID, name, address, email, mobile number we had, and then we add, delete, clear, update, and find. And this is the last next. So we did the add, we did other guys, and we have the traversal, and I had done a little change. What my idea was that when we go to the next, because we need to know where is my cursor, so that the ID field is the cursor, so we could have gone to that, but let's do a little change here. What I am doing is what the main activities, so what we have, so that we have overall revision of it. We are creating a data man of the my data manager class, and then we got the button add here this time only. So then we got a lot of edit texts, and we got some string values and one content values, we know that, and into the we got string constants. I put up these are basically the rows of a table, and then on create the bundle we need is we have the set content view, the activity main, this is the old story, and then the content, the ed name, basically getting the handle of these text boxes, and also the one of the buttons I have done here. We have to do other buttons as well. Then what I'm doing is I'm saying init data, and I was passing the button but, so no need to create a button variable, just hard code it 0. 0 means that we are doing it at the beginning. Okay, and this is the why we have the buttons, which button you have to click. If it is, for example, the clear button, also we call the clear method, we know that, we have done that. Now if we have the add, for example, we have also done that. Okay, whole story of that, so we make it a save, and or if it is saved, then you have to add actually things, and you have to see that the text box should not be empty. Then you have to fill up the things, and I'm making only one change here, that is I'm saying set enable true of the edit text of ID when you have save, and when you have add, only at that moment I'm making it false here, right? So otherwise it will show up not the dimmed text but the good bold text. Okay, and this is the other guys which we had to work, like is if you want to go to the last, so we called in data and I'm setting 1. The 1 is the identification that I have clicked the last button, and 2 for the first, and 3 for the next, and 4 for the previous. So I have done this much, and let us see what lies. I say Control A and Control I to reformat. Okay, now let us see my data manager, and there is a change in the get database, and I'm having here the int button, which is actually which you have passed 0, 1, 2 or something, and the content values, and then the string. Okay, having the rows, then we got a cursor, and the cursor C, which is querying the table, and have the columns here. Okay, then the rest of the guys are null because we don't have to specify the other things like selection mode and all. So then we get the first column index of each table. Okay, this is in the Sqlite, we have these things that we get first the column index, or you can plug in if you know the column index directly 0, 1, 2 or whatever, but if you don't know, then use that the string constants we have created, then it will accordingly fetch what is the column index of that column, and that will be in these integer variables. Then we've got a boolean flag that has to be true. So this flag basically comes from the cursor. When you say c dot move to first, c is basically the object of the cursor. If you say move to first, this cursor returns the boolean variable that is to be stored in the flag. If it's true, then we should do it. If it's not, if it's null, then we should not basically do things. So what is in a 0 means in the beginning, so we should move to the first record. Okay, this will open up the cursor, that is with the table, but it's with the minus 1, so we have to get it to the first tuple or row. So if that's done with the c dot move first, and we also do here, I did a little change here that I'm making this CUR an integer variable, okay, which I'm making on the top so that it's a global variable so that it can stay, and I'm making it a static so that it remembers something. So static doesn't die. When the method dies, the static variable doesn't die. So static, this curve will retain its values, and what I'm doing is I'm saying c.get position. So whatever the cursor position is, it returns the integer variable, okay, and that's stored in the curve. So you say first, the curve knows where the cursor is. You say move to the last, so it will go to the last, and the curve knows where the cursor is. So when say, because we need these things, and this was the beginning, this is for the first, okay, you have pressed the first button. This was for the beginning, that the moment you open the database without pressing any button, the things should come up in your text boxes. So that's why we did this. But this one is the, if you press the explicitly the first button, okay, and the curve is going to remember where the cursor is, the position of the cursor all the time, because when you say move to move, because when you say actually move next or move previous, at that moment we have to move to the next, next to what? Next to the where the cursor was before that. Similarly, if it's a move to previous, you have to go to the previous record, but you should be knowing where the cursor was. So this is why we are storing all the time cursor, like c.get position, into the curve. So when I say flag the c.move next, it will go to the next. But before that, what I do is I move my position to that whatever the curve is. So I say c.move to position the curve. Because if you last time said c.move to first, you close the database is closed, the cursor is killed, and we never know where we were last time. So there was no, we can't remember that we had to go to the move. If you say for now move next, then the cursor doesn't know where it was. So what happens is, that's why I created the curve as static. It remembers even though you close the database, the curve remember the cursor position. So that's why we created it global. And now cursor remembers all the time. So before I go to the next position, I am going to see that move to position. Whatever the position was, that's a curve, so it is there. And if curve is c.get count -1, that means you have lasted all the records are already on the last record, so you should not basically go to next. Rather, you should say toast. You may make a toast or make text. You toast it out that this is the last record, and the context here is the my context. We already know when we created the database. Whenever we in this init data in a data, I created the object of the my data manager, and there I passed the main activity. So that activity is into the my context, because in the constructor and all we did in the first video. And so we say toast or make text my context, and now in the else part what I'm doing is, if it's not a last record, what we should do is we should move to the next, and the flag knows that it's a true or false, because if it has really moved to the next, the flag will have a true in it, and we still remember the cursor position, because for the next time we're ready, okay, and break. So if it is a case 4, means you want to go back to move to previous. Similarly, you again move to the position, and then you go to the cursor equal to 0, and then say toast or make text. Again, if it's 0, that it's the beginning of the record, so it's the first record, so you should not move to the before the first record. So otherwise, you should move to the previous and remember the cursor position. This is what we did. Now, let's see this running on my Android phone. Let's get it my data. Okay, this is a simulator. Here, this is for the first time. It shows me the first record into all the tables, into all these boxes. Now, why this shows? Because at that time we hardcoded the 0. Now you go to the next. You go to the next. It's going properly. When you try to go to the next, it's saying this is the last record. You go to the previous. It will move previous, and you are trying to go previous, because the first record is saying this is the first record, and you see this is enabled, and this is the last record, this is the first record. And if you say again the add, okay, now this guy is gone disabled, okay, because this is the auto increment, a primary key, auto incremented, you don't have to pull things into it, push things into it. So this is disabled, so the user may not interact with it. So the pointer is going into the name. So let's pull up the things here. like some name, whatever you like, and the address, only address I know is Sora. Email, for example, so@foo.com, whatever, and mobile number, some arbitrary number, and you just say save, and you see when the moment you say save, it goes there, the row created for. But what we should do is, after we say save, we should move to the first. Is it? We should move to the first. That's kind of home task to you. That you set the save, it sets the save, but we are nowhere, right? So we can go in from here. We can go to the last. Now it's the last one is the fourth regard. So here, which we have just pushed up. So it's successfully we added up the things. So we have moved last and all these guys. Now we can do what? We can search our. This is kind of simple, because we can search here. You get the row ID, and you can say find. It should pull up the things. This is very easy because you can move your cursor to whatever the row he says and user says here, right? So that we're gonna do. Let's see that. Let me get it down. Okay. Okay, let's do it in the next video. Until then, masala.